Andy, it's one of those Wednesdays. It's just one of those Wednesdays. I'm already having technical challenges. My connection is unstable, and so I'm not on video this morning. And Andy, I have a medical procedure tomorrow that I have to fast for all day today. It's just gonna be one of those days. I'm chalking it up to a L already.
Dave, don't take the L. Don't accept the L. I believe in you. You're coming out of birthday celebrations. The Olympics are still on. It's a great time to be an American. I know these days, it's still in the early hours because we're out here to serve America before America wakes up, Dave. You're still tired. Have some coffee, sit back and relax, reflect on our gold medal count, and just see if you can make it through the day despite having a fast and enjoy all those wonderful things. I wish you well with your medical procedure. Know that on the other end of that, you get to come and eat, and if you want, you can watch Lions preseason football. So there's good things ahead. May it motivate you and inspire you to a good day. Don't let the day get you down before it's even 6 o'clock.
The you mentioned the good. I can have coffee. I just can't have any cream or sugar in it. So that's good because I think if I had to go without coffee, my head would explode. I mean,
Yeah,
I think that's a really serious, debilitating injury if I
it
can
is.
have.
It is like being denied
And for
coffee.
all that, like, I don't know about you. Yeah, I don't know about you, but like up to 10 o'clock at night and still go sleep the next morning or like within 30 minutes. But if I don't have coffee, my head is pounding.
Yeah, yeah. Caffeine withdrawal is no joke. I consume a lot of coffee. Dave, let me ask you, you saying you can't have cream or sugar? How do you typically take your coffee? Are you loaded up
I,
and take it sweet kind of guy, or what do you do?
I do scale back on the sugar a little bit. I'm trying to get off of as much sugar as I used to have, but I do have a little cream, a little half and half, and then a little not quite a maybe it's a little teaspoon of sugar. So
All right, yeah, that's good. That's good. I typically take my coffee, like I like my male bodybuilders, Dave, strong and black. You know what I mean? So I I like black coffee most of the time, but I do take my protein in my coffee now, which is a nice little treat a couple times a day. So good.
okay.
I think you can do it. Some black coffee, lots of water. I have faith in you. I have faith in you.
I can have Jello too, so I'm just gonna have to suck down those little cups of Jello.
All right, so
Give me my snack pack.
yeah, coffee and Jello shooters for you today, Dave. We can't talk about your medical procedure and Jello shooters all day. Where are we going? Fine, August 7th, 2024, in the year of our Lord.
Way to keep us on track here, Andy. So yeah, well, let's go ahead. We're gonna get into our three by we have to start with the vice presidential pick. It was the governor from Minnesota, which I had not heard about until yesterday morning. In fact, that it was even a possibility. My money was on Shapiro because Pennsylvania is such a key state, a key battleground state. But then Andy, you forwarded me a video of his like the intro speech that he made. This guy is quite a firebrand. He's got quite a. I mean, he's already coming out fighting hard. It seems like at least from the initial 24 hours, he presents a good yin yang to the president to the vice president at least to Kamala Harris. What were your initial thoughts here, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, look, Dave, there's a lot. I'm sure we'll discuss this more as the campaign goes on. We'll get into things. There's a lot of things. I mean, for starters, and I should, right, as a small government, individual liberty loving guy, like the idea of a California Democrat and a Minnesota Democrat on this ticket, like that should be like almost automatically disqualifying for me, right? I mean, that's a liberal dream, right?
Yeah.
A progressive dream, I should say. One that I think would probably have been very difficult to have done in any election, recently. But because the opposition is Trump Vance, this ticket looks glorious. This ticket looks glorious, right? So, I'm giving it a fair look. And look, there are some things to really like about Tim Walz and some things to question. I mean, he is a Minnesota Democrat, right? He was strong on lockdowns and masking requirements. Maybe a little bit too heavy-handed there for some. His role in responding to the George Floyd murder and subsequent protests and violence. Questionable, right? There's some question. As I should give credit, the video that I shared, Dave, came from on Threads, Ursa Major 73, Amanda Panda. She shared the video. She also raised the point on the protest. We can get into that more another day. But he's also got some things that are likable to folks like me, right? He's looked at licensing reform to cut red tape. He's for criminal justice reform. He's been good on marijuana legalization, right? So there's things to like and look at on his politics. But he makes sense. He's a good partner to Kamala Harris on her positions. But Dave, looking past the politics, right? Looking at the guy, looking at the man, right? Because at the end of the day, the presidency often comes down to the people, right? Do you believe in like Donald Trump? Do you believe in like JD Vance? Do you believe in like Kamala Harris? Look, Tim Walz, Dave, I don't know if you know this, right? The man retired from the National Guard as an E8, got to the rank of E9. And listen, if you served over 2 decades in the military, in the army as an enlisted man, and you've achieved the rank of E9, you're a little crazy. Like that's automatic. Like those guys are all lovingly crazy. I love them. As my first sergeant, who I loved, used to refer to them, harder than chicken lips. Not only, Dave, was he a senior NCO, highest elected to office to Congress, by the way. Dave, he was an artilleryman. He was a red leg. So I'm totally biased as a fellow cannon cocker. I've got to like that. He's a veteran. He's an artilleryman. He's a school teacher, a football coach. I mean, this guy's singing a lot of songs that I love in that sense. So as a personal story, there's a lot to like. Politics, some things to look at and question still, but as a man, he's got a lot to like, and he's full of that Midwestern energy and zingers. And my Lions fans friends are loving this guy, like his big dad energy, his Midwestern dad energy. There's been things on Threads that have me rolling. Like they're loving this pick, and I can see why. I mean, he's an attractive candidate. There's a lot to like and some things to still question. Dave, I don't know if you're having some sound issues or not. I can ramble on all day, and I'm happy to continue until you're able to rejoin.
Yeah,
Vocal. No, there you are. There you are. Sorry.
yeah, I am having some sound issues, Andy. I had to relocate while you were going on your
All my mini spiels.
I was letting you cook, Andy. So no, I think this is look, I think you call out a really good point. This is a really sharp contrast now to the Trump Vance ticket. And I think this is what America needs, frankly. I don't mean necessarily this is what America needs in these two candidates. America can choose who they want, but I think the choice here, we have a very clear choice. We
Yeah.
have a very clear vision for America that's different. And I think that's what America's now needs to go to the box now and vote on and say, is this exactly, are you for this side
Yeah.
or are you for that side? I don't mean picking like what vision of America do you want to see? And I'm pretty excited about this, and I think this is really what we wanted all along, as opposed to two old guys talking about their records, both failing records in the presidency, and now you have a clear choice. And so I'm excited about that, Andy, and I am looking forward to hearing more about this. I mean, we're going to get more about Kamala that comes out, and we're going to get more about our new vice presidential candidate that comes out, and let's see how they do. I think clearly the momentum is on the Democratic side with the ticket now. They've dominated the news cycle. They've gotten a lot of very positive things, and frankly, the only thing negative I'm hearing about Kamala Harris is that her husband had an affair with his first wife. I mean, if that's where we're at on these,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll see. So I don't know. It's looking good for the Democrats, though. I will say.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Doug stuff, like honestly, when the presidential candidate is Donald Trump, like that issue can't even be. It's like not even an issue, right? I mean, it's not even an issue. But I'll say one more thing on Walls. I know we got to pivot here, but one thing that I really do like about him, and he's gotten some flack about this because people are saying he's a flip flopper, but I don't see it that way. On the authorized use of military force, right? The military authorization by the president with really poor congressional oversight. That was used to allow the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and continues. Um, he voted against reauthorizing the authorization, reauthorizing the authorization. He voted to continue to fund it, and a lot of people give him flack for that. He was voting against it to say, hey, we should not allow this to continue. We should have specific authorization for specific combat activities, not this blanket open invitation where presidents can fight endless, reckless wars. But he continues to support the funding because that was covering the troops overseas, right? That was paying for them to have the things they needed while they were serving. If you cut that funding off, you're now putting the troops in a dangerous position. That's politically reckless, I think, right? So it's a tricky game. There's really not a win in that situation. Somebody's going to suffer. I'd rather a politician take the L and say, I'm going to kind of half it one way and half it the other. I commend him for that vote. It's tough. And in that respect, I appreciate it. And I think that's one of the things that he brings as a veteran is understanding of what it means to have those authorizations out there dangling dangerously, putting young soldiers in harm's way, potentially very recklessly. So again, there's definitely some things I will, question him about, push back on. Again, there's a lot I won't like about a Harris Walz presidency, I think. But on a lot of things, the guy's really good, really solid. And thanks to Ursa Major 73, Amanda Panda for sharing a few links. And I'll share some other ones, Dave, that people are posting yesterday. Some really fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I like the Amanda Panda. I think that's kind of a fun name. Okay, Andy, let's go into weird news here. This is kind of bleeds into politics and some of the weird news, but RFK Jr. Andy, not necessarily like a lot of energy around him in the beginning of the year, and then it's predictably, I think we has really tailed off.
Yeah.
Has really struggled in a lot of areas. But I don't know if this was a way to get trying to back in the news cycle. But he came out recently and admitted that he, RFK Jr. Was behind this incident in 2014 in which a dead black panda, or I'm sorry, black bear cub was found in Central Park, which caused a huge ruckus, and rightfully so. A bear in Central Park, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. One, how the heck did it get there? But nobody could fully understand this. Well, it comes out that RFK Jr. actually he staged it all because he found this bear obviously outside of New York City and brought it, him and some buddies brought it to Central Park, put it in the bushes, and it went from there. Andy, how weird is this?
Yeah, it is weird. And, so Dave, as you know, and as listeners know, I was in this awkward position of kind of considering RFK, despite having, watched a really great interview with him where I was really not impressed. And I was really trying to see, could I potentially vote for this guy? Because I really didn't want to vote for Trump or Biden, nor the Libertarian Party, though I like Chase uh, Oliver himself. Um, but RFK is making it like really hard for people to consider. And then you're seeing, I mean, folks like me, I've been transparent, right? I'm gonna vote for Kamala Harris. I've acknowledged that publicly, right? But he's making it hard for people to stay with him because he's getting weirder and weirder in what's coming out. Now he put this story out because it was coming out, like it was going to be published in an article, so he kind of shared to get ahead of it. But he just kind of continued. The weirdest thing about it, like this isn't something he did as a goofy 25-year-old, right? He did this when he was like 60, right? So it's
Yeah, yeah.
he was like he doesn't like cyclists. He was mad at them. Wanted to like poke him in the eye with this, and so had this whole bear cub antic. Like that's a weird thing. Like your old man hatred of cyclists is weird, but this is a weirder thing to do at age 60, than it is like a dumb college. Like college, you're like, yeah, okay, I mean, we all did dumb shit as high school and college kids, but when you're like potentially reaching retirement age in America, like this is a weirder thing to do. So he's not helping himself any, Dave. He's not helping himself any. And by the way, now that I can see you, you look good.
Oh yeah, I just got done with the gym. Like I come here ready, Andy. I
You
come
look
here
good too.
look trying to impress. So I did have to move locations, Andy, as I said, and hopefully I got a little bit better connection. We're still dealing with a little bit of the aftermath from Hurricane Debbie. And
Yeah.
so I think, well, we're like on the outside. We thought we were going to get a lot more rain, but not so much the case. So, anyways, I think that's what's disrupted me this morning. Okay, Andy, let's switch again. Another weird topic. This is more on the pop culture front, Andy. We all talked about our affinity for wrestling and the Hulkster. We like the Hulkster. There's a weird article that came out, Andy, that they're considering a Hulk Hogan biopic, and they're considering a lot of different things, but they chose I thought an unusual, well, at least they're citing an unusual actor as potentially being able to play Hulk Hogan, and and that would be Ben Affleck, Andy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I'm not so sure that like line, like sometimes you take stretches with what people look like and how they do, and look, there's a lot of makeup people that can work out here, and I'm sure costume design can take Ben Affleck's hair and really thin it out to be a blonde person, but it seems like there could be some better people to line up to play that role, Andy.
yeah, Dave. So listen, kind of a good pivot from talking politics, right? I know there's a lot of um, dislike for Hulk Hogan now among the left because he came out, at the RNC in support of Trump and Vance. I mean, listen, Hulk Hogan's a 70-something-year-old Florida man. Like, of course he's voting for Donald Trump, right? And I don't care, dude. I don't care who somebody wants to vote for, right? As long as they're not a hateful, racist, piece of crap. Like, you vote for who you want to vote for. It doesn't change anything. I grew up loving Hulk Hogan. I think he's entertaining as hell. He's a fun guy. Go buy his beer if you want to buy his beer. He's a character and a half. You might not like him. I find him amusing. I don't care about his politics. I've discussed with people. I have no issue with the movie. I don't want to watch a movie about him. Like, I have no interest in that. But I know previously, like Chris Hemsworth, Thor wanted to play Hulk Hogan. That was being talked about. Viable, right? Viable. The guy's a stud. Ben Affleck, like, fuck Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody likes Ben Affleck. He's always been, will always remain Matt Damon's useless, bad acting friend who is, as often referred to, Jennifer Garner's fifth kid. The guy's a mess. And like the idea of him playing all American Hulk Hogan, like it makes me want to like vomit. Like it's just ridiculous. So I don't know what they're thinking. Like he would never have been on my radar of people to pick to play the Hulkster. The 24-inch pythons, Ben Affleck's got no 24-inch pythons, Dave. That's not going to work out. The prayers and the vitamins, brother. Like I don't want to see Ben Affleck doing that bit. You know what I mean? So it's taking what would be a bad movie but maybe fun to just being a bad movie that I couldn't even watch.
Yeah, because this is going to be an interesting thing. Like it's around this Hulk Hogan sex tape and all this
Yeah,
other stuff. I think it could be a really cool. I mean, look, I think it could be an interesting story, but like you could kill it with just the actor. Again, they can do wonders with things, but like you said, Hemsworth is probably the better play there, or pick somebody else. It's not like this is going to probably be box office blockbuster, right? I
yeah,
mean, this is
yeah,
a movie about a sex tape. I mean, how much play? It's not going to be Deadpool and Wolverine, right? So let probably put somebody else in that role. Give somebody young to do it, and yeah, I'm not so sure Ben Affleck's the right thing for many roles these days, Andy.
yeah.
So, all right, Andy, let's wrap up the weird news segment. Let's go back, Andy. I tell you, I am loving the Olympics right now. I am fully in on everything. I'm watching it every night. My daughter, my 8-year-old, was like, Dad, can we watch the Olympics? Like that's how I know it's in. Like the 100-meter dash was awesome
Yeah.
recently. Yesterday, last night, an American won the 1500-meter. Again, the big talk was around the top two runners, one from I think it was Norway and the other one was from Great Britain. And this guy came back from fifth place in the last like 300, 400 meters
It was
and
awesome.
and won it at the end. An American finished third in that race. He set an Olympic record. Those are like great memories. I mean, those are great things, and we still see a lot of like the smaller countries getting their Olympic glory. And then Andy, you have the Olympic basketball that is now in the medal round. You have powerhouse teams. Germany beat Greece yesterday. Serbia is in with Nikola Jokic. You've got the United States, of course, and then France, the host nation, is in. So this is really good basketball going to be played now in the semifinals. You have the Americans beat Germany yesterday in women's soccer. What is not to love? They're going into the gold medal match like what is not to love about watching these Olympics, Andy? The coverage has been amazing. I love Peacock. I mean, it's been great. I don't know. Yeah, am I overboard here, Andy?
Dave, you're not. I mean, there's so much to be enthusiastic about. I mean, look, Cole yesterday, 1500 meters, like nobody knew who this guy was. He wasn't expected to win. If you watch it, like just watching him come up, you're like, what is happening here? I can't imagine what was going through his mind. And after he won, like it was awesome. So hats off to him. Loved seeing that. The women's track and field, the men's track and field. Look, we've got an Arlington native. For me, that's a neighbor here, a guy that graduated from what many will know as formerly under by its name is T.C. Williams. Remember the Titans High School?
Oh
I
yeah.
love Noah Lyles for different reasons, but he's a fantastic athlete and he's out there doing great. And the U.S. Men's National Team soccer, Dave, like you said, like I'm enjoying it so much. I mean, there's just so much to enjoy. My son had it on briefly yesterday before we wrapped up the night, and we saw the even the Olympic diving. We're like, hey, by the sports definition that I shared in the solo cast I did when you were out last week, we still argue that it's not a sport, but phenomenal, phenomenal competition. I mean, those divings are it's incredible. So there's just so much to love and appreciate, and um, also some things to question, like the story of the Chinese diver and how the Chinese government sort of like took custody of her, like disgusting, right? Like they basically threatening her mother's life, China, right? But that's another story for another day. But as far as enjoyment, it's great to enjoy the Olympics right now.
Yeah, it's been really a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Andy, another sports story. I don't know. I know you're not a huge baseball fan, Andy, but it is worth noting the Chicago White Sox last night they ended it, but the Chicago White Sox had lost 21 games in a row. Now, my beloved Orioles lost 21 games in a row in the 1988 season to start off the season. So that's the record to start a season losing 21 games in a row. But the Chicago White Sox lost 21 games in a row. They ended it last night. Oh, what kind of I mean, that's freaking amazing. Now, we had a team, the Detroit Pistons, lose 26 games in a row this year for basketball. I mean, how do you like that? That takes a lot of guts to keep coming out there day after day. I get it. They're making a paycheck. So please don't at me and tell me, yeah, I'd love to be losing games for what these guys make. I don't need to hear it. But it's still tough, right? You got to go out there every day. And the White Sox have been selling off their team. They are in rebuild mode, so they're tanking, as a lot of people call it. It's crazy, Andy. That was crazy for me to see 21 games.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, streaks in sports are funny, and they can be like it can get like almost like a habit. Like you just get used to winning or losing. 21 games is a lot of games. That's a lot of games.
Yeah, what's your take on tanking, Andy? When teams just are trying to get a high draft pick and
I
they
agree.
sell off their best topic, like the Houston Astros had a lot of success doing this. They won. They've been in the American League Championship Series for like 7, 8 years in a row. They won the World Series. That my Orioles did it for a 3 year period, and they got some great draft picks out of it. And now they're one of the top teams. This is a style, but man, it's hard to be a fan when your team is tanking like this.
It is, and I think it's garbage. I mean, I get it, I get it, but I think it's bad sportsmanship because your fans are out there to see you play sports. And I know people give grief, right? I mean, the Texans, was it Lovie Smith, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Got fired essentially for going out and playing football and winning a football game.
The
Um,
last game of the
but
season.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. But hey, lo and behold, winning that game, they got maybe the best quarterback in the league. We don't know, but CJ Stroud's phenomenal as we've talked about. Like go out there and play the game, do the best you can, entertain your fans, let your players play, win or lose, as the hardest working people on the field. Take pride in it, and you deal with the consequences, and maybe get CJ Stroud, right? I mean, play the game. I don't like tanking. I think it's poor sportsmanship. It's not fair to the fans. It's a lousy way to go. You know what I mean? So if you suck, you suck. The Lions went 0-16, not because they didn't want to win. They couldn't win. They got Matt Stafford out of it. Was wonderful. Did great. Got Super Bowl in LA. Good for him. But they lost because they sucked. Right? The Browns sucked. To see teams throw on purpose, and you see it in basketball, you see it in baseball. I disagree. I'm glad the Texans did what they did, and they got their reward for it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the players I mean, they're just going out there and trying to play. But when your front office is actively
Yeah,
like trading away the best players or give you better chance to win for somebody who may not even make it to the team in 2 to 3 years, that's really hard. I mean, I think I would have to imagine it's very demoralizing for players because, like the Texans, like you said, I mean, you can't tell a football player to go play half speed because you're trying to tank. They
yeah,
go out there and they hurt themselves. I mean, they're banging bodies every single day. So kudos to them for going out there and competing and trying to win all those last games there. And again, they did get the best one there, ironically enough. So it's a tough situation for them. So my heart is with the Chicago White Sox, but when you play my Orioles in a couple weeks, I hope you keep losing and do
sure,
what you do.
sure.
So, um, all right, Andy, that wraps up our 3x7s. Any lingering anything we didn't get to you want to talk about?
Dave, I mean, there's always so much that we can cover. We can't cover it all. New John Wick TV series coming out. I'm not sure
Yeah.
you're fans of the John Wick series. That could be interesting. Elon Musk and Jim Jordan in the news. The you can't sue companies for not advertising on your bullshit, social media platform. Like it just shows the insanity of where that committee is in Congress and where Elon Musk's head is. There's just so much to look at and be like, what the hell is going on here? Dave, there's so much we can always cover. We got to keep a limit on it, so we won't get into all of that. We'll have something else to talk about on Friday, I'm sure. But Dave, most importantly, we wish you well on behalf of those that are listening. We wish you well over the next, 48 hours as you go through your procedure, as you swallow your coffee and jello shots. We want you to feel good on the other side. So we look forward to seeing you Friday. Dave, I've got to say, next time we get together, the Lions will have played the New York Giants, the dastardly fight instigating Giants in the first preseason game of the year. Football's back. I can't wait for that. And if I could, I just want to commend the Threads community. I love sharing our podcast on Threads. I love having people listen in. Vic, listening on the Deadpool episode, we were talking about that a little bit on Threads. My Lions friends and political friends on Threads sharing ideas and input, and I love it. I appreciate it. We appreciate all of you that take time to join us and listen to us. So we love the conversation. Thanks for dialing in. That's all I got, Dave.
Andy, I don't want to jinx this or anything, but the audience is growing, Andy. Our
Well,
audience is growing. The X community is expanding. And so this is great. I appreciate what you're doing on Threads. Hey, Andy, from now until February, we have football every fucking week now.
Dave,
So
every
I will not be relishing as much as you are because I'm in a hold pattern until January. So either the Cowboys are going to be there or not, but I'm not going to be a believer until then. But we have a lot of good stuff to talk about for football. I can't wait.
I
So
can't wait, Dave. And yeah, the crappy Cowboys can't figure out what to do with CeeDee Lamb. You guys suck. I can't wait to see the Cowboys suck this year, Dave. People are picking them to finish last in your division. That's embarrassing for you. I mean, the Giants are in your division, and people picking you to be last is like that's like if it's being raised is like I'm embarrassed for you. But Dave, I don't want you to go out that way. You've got things to focus on today.
this is what I'll just say, Andy. I'll just say this. Like, we're not going to be worse than the Giants. They're fucking awful. Like, they have Daniel Jones as their quarterback. Look, we have butchered the Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, Parsons contracts. Jerry Jones is the richest owner in the world. The Cowboys are one of the richest franchises, and we're gonna struggle. We're gonna haggle over a couple dollars. Pay the fucking people. Like,
Yeah,
you want a good team, you got to pay them.
yeah.
And by the way, if you would have managed your cap better 2 years ago, you wouldn't have this problem. But whatever. I mean, the other teams figure it out. For some reason, we were different. But we've got our great coach McCarthy. So
I love it, Dave. I love it. I love where you guys are right now. I mean, I'm sorry. I love it so
okay,
much.
you pissed me off already, Andy. Like, I need this is not what I need on a Wednesday. Like, I didn't need to get into all this cowboy shit. So, like, Andy, we just gotta go. We gotta go. So, all right, Andy, good conversation, good discussion. This, much like the NFL season is kicking into high gear, politics are going to be kicking into high gear. Olympics are wrapping up. What a great time to be alive, Andy. What a great time to be alive. All right, Andy, I'll catch up with you next time.